So today, I want to talk about ways that you can save some extra money. Now this is aimed more at people who feel they don't have any extra income to put towards investing, or just a little bit of income to put towards investing or savings. The things that we'll be looking at today are different places that you don't even realise how much this accumulates to over the year. You might think it's a small amount a month or a small amount each week, but how that masses and accumulates over the year is so dramatic. When you realise you can cut that out of your life, you'll be amazed at the amount of extra income that you actually have and you can put to use for you. So welcome, my name is Ian Robertson and this is Let's Talk Dividends. Okay, so number one, this is the most painful one. That's where I'm hitting with it straight off the bat, and that is subscription services. Now, undoubtedly, most people watching will have Netflix, Amazon Prime, they'll have Spotify, Apple Music, and that list could go on and on and on, depends on the kind of services that you have. Now, the biggest thing that I would say is, can you share these services with other people? Spotify, for instance, has a family account at $14.99 for, I think it's up to 5 people. Now, would you not be better paying that rather than paying $9.99 each? Or are you a student and not taking advantage of the discount that they provide? These are things that you probably do use, but is there a way that you can share it with your family or friends to make it more beneficial to your pocket? Now, the one that I have cut back on is Netflix and Spotify, and two of them is what I just said you should do. So Spotify I changed to a $14.99 family membership. I realised that I used it, my dad used it, and a few other members of the family were using it. So we thought, why not split it and save a little bit of money? So I can pay for that, someone else can pay for another service, and rather than me paying 10 or 15 per service, per subscription, I maybe only pay for one, somebody else pays for another, somebody else pays for another, and we share the subscriptions in the family way. So that isn't where it's just one login, that I'm using the login, my dad's using the login, and that can be a bit touch and go. If Netflix or these kind of companies pick up on that, they can stop your account, so just be careful there. But a lot of these do have family subscriptions, and a lot of these, like Netflix, have multiple accounts on them. They have 5 different accounts, so you can set them up for kids, you can set them up for anybody in your family, grandparents. So why not set one up for you, plus some extra members of your family? So the last one that I would look at in this area is Amazon Prime. I don't really use the television service of Amazon Prime. There's certain TV shows that come out that I will tune in and watch, but most of the time it's for deliveries. It's a great service. I probably get too much delivered from it, but it's such a great product, Amazon Prime, or Amazon in general. So why not share that delivery service with your family? Now what that really means is just giving someone in your family some money so they can get it delivered. But rather than every single person paying $7.99 for the same subscription, if one person's paying it, it means that you can save so much extra income. If you add Amazon Prime and Netflix and Spotify, all of a sudden you're around £30 to £40 or dollars, wherever you are in the world, better off every single month. You take that over the year, put that into a safe, maybe the Vanguard S&P 500, over 30-40 years, if you continuously put that money, you could walk away or retire early with a huge lump sum. Or put it into a riskier portfolio, maybe a dividend portfolio, a couple of different growth stocks. It is amazing, but just £30 or £40 a month will accumulate to by the end of the year, or by the end of 20 or 30 years time, when you compound all that interest that you've got and all the dividend payments. So I know this is probably the hardest area to cut back on. We all do love our subscriptions, but please look at your account. Do you really need it, or could you even cut out one for a few months of the year? A lot of these services you're not tied up to, you're not tied into 12-month contracts. So if you're not watching anything, don't be scared to stop the service for 2 or 3 months and then restart it when you see a new series that's launching that you want to watch. There's no issues with that. You're not tied to these services. You could save yourself maybe another 20 or 30 pounds or dollars here, and then a couple of months later do the exact same, and just pay for it when you're using it. You're not tied to that service, so do not feel obligated to continue paying it when you don't have to, and you can put that money to better use. So my next one is renewals of things like insurance, mobile phone contracts, and so on. These are areas that I've always been guilty of just renewing. When my insurance comes up, I just tend to click OK, pass it over to the next year and continue paying it monthly if I'm not able to pay it annually. And mobile phone contracts are another one for that. I stick with the same network, the same carrier, and just continue paying them every single year. They phone up, offer me a better deal, and I just accept it. I don't really shop around. Now there's great websites out there such as Uswitch that will compare so many different offers, and you can put in exactly what you need and they will give you the best deal. And do not be scared to switch provider, switch insurance company for your car, whatever it may be. Do not feel you have to be held to one of these companies. If you can save $10 or $15 or pounds a month, great, do it. If you feel you're getting a good service out of something, then that's what you'll have to take into consideration. But most of the time, all these companies offer the same sort of package. You're not going to miss out on a great deal by moving from one phone network to another network. Most of the time, you'll be absolutely fine, and it is more money in your pocket. Don't feel you have to go to the top brands either. So I'm guilty of that. I see the top network or the top brand, we were voted number one. I think there must be a reason toward that. And there is. There's no doubt that they are the top brand for a reason. But that shouldn't take away that smaller brands have a great product at a brilliant price. So contact them, send them an email, look at their website, do whatever you have to do to make you feel comfortable with the purchase. But know that there is a purchase out there that can save you money when it comes to these monthly or annual renewals. Now, my third one on the list is takeaways, coffees, and these eat out expenses that so many people do put money towards. Now, I'm bad for coffee. If I see a Starbucks, I am guilty for walking straight in and ordering a coffee. I only drink black coffee, so it's one of the cheapest ones, but still, every time I go out, we have to go for a coffee. It's a bit of a social kind of push. I don't know if it's a bit of social acceptance, it could be a number of things, but every single time I go out, if it's a shopping centre, wherever it is, if it's into the city, I always go for a Starbucks. So I'm guilty to it as well. Takeaway wise, I try and hold back as much as I can. That's not something I really find satisfying, and it's a huge expense. Don't get me wrong, they are enjoyable. If you're into pizza, getting a Domino's is a fantastic thing. But I know people who get Domino's every single week or every second week and easily spend £30 or £40 or dollars every time they order. You think how much that amasses up to by the end of the year. That could be paying off your insurance for your car annually. That could be getting a new car. So many things you could put that amount of money toward. So if you think about it, you cut back on the takeaways. Not only is it beneficial to your wallet, but beneficial to your health as well. If you invested that money into the stock market, or if you feel there's a better investment elsewhere, great. If it's a personal investment, if it's paying off debt, if it's buying equipment to start a channel or start a hobby that you're into, think about it that way. That's going to make your life so much better in the long term, rather than just enjoying the moment by eating a takeaway. It's a huge expense, and there is other beneficial factors towards cutting that out as well. I'm not here to preach about health, that's not what this channel's about, but financially it is a huge benefit to your life. So the next one, and this is the fourth one that I would suggest, is a Save the Change account. I've got one with my Lloyds banking. For my saving account, it's Save the Change. So every time I spend around under the pound mark, so if it's maybe £9.50, it will round up to £10 for me by putting that extra 50 pence into my savings account. There's other companies out there that do it, such as Moneybox. Now Moneybox does it with investments, and I know in America, I think the company is Acorns, they do the exact same sort of service. So every time that you spend money on your card, it'll round it up to the nearest pound or dollar, and that can be invested into the stock market. From there you can choose an aggressive approach or a kind of safer approach and where you want to put your money. But it's a great way to accumulate money that you don't even realise that is out of your bank. It's the sort of amount that you would never really notice unless you were seriously penny pinching, and that's okay if you are, because that's another good way to save money. But for the majority, you will not notice that sort of money disappearing from your bank into a savings account, into an investment account. Now, I've seen people donate up to £1,000 or $1,000 every single year by these accounts. If you think the amount of time that you use your card, every single time you would do that, that would put money into savings or investments for you. The reason that I do it into a savings account is so it's all linked, and from that account I can put it straight into the stock market and into an exact portfolio that I have. And that's okay, I'm a bit more experienced investment wise, so I feel I have the knowledge to create a portfolio of my own and put that money into work where I feel it will be more beneficial. But things like Moneybox, or as I said, I believe it's Acorns in America, you can tell me below if that is what the best app in America is. They're great services to help you start getting investing. They put into extremely safe portfolios if you want, and it will give you a nice little return as long as the market keeps performing the way it does usually annually. I know we're going through a difficult time just now, but usually it is progressive in the market and you do get a good return for your money. So my final one. This is one that's so simple, sometimes people just forget about it. With everything going digital, with all payments going digital as well, such as the Save the Change schemes, people forget that this is an option. A coin jar, or just a simple money jar. If you take money out, if you withdraw it from a cash machine, you spend some of it a night out or a day out, whatever it is, you always, or usually you'll have money left. Put that money aside if you don't need it. Now if you go, and it may only be change, but if you've got a couple of notes in there and you can put the notes into a jar, seal that jar off, you can't spend it, you can't touch it, and then at the end of the month, or maybe at the end of 3 months or the year, whenever would suit you, you put that money into investments or paying off a debt, you'd be amazed the amount that accumulates to. I've done this to go on holidays, where I've just put pound coins into a jar. Every time I've got some pound coins, put it into a jar. By the end of the year, or before I was going on holiday, I would have £300 or £400 sitting in a jar that I forgot all about, because I would withdraw 10, spend some of it, and maybe have 3 or 4 left. So it's only £3 or £4. I'm not going to miss that. I would put that money into this jar, and by the end of the year, it accumulated so much, I just couldn't believe it. So this is a great way for you to put your money to use without even realising that it's there, without even realising that you're missing it. It's very similar to the Save the Change scheme, except you're just doing it yourself. Understandably, it's going to be more difficult at this time because everything is going contactless payment wise, and we're recommended to do contactless payments. But still, you're going to withdraw money every so often, so if you don't need it, put it aside. Or withdraw money purposely and put that money aside. If this is something that you think would suit you, go to the cash line, withdraw some money and put it aside. I don't mean a lot, as little as you can withdraw, great, but put that in a jar. It will be there safekeeping for you. You can forget about it. If you've got a safe, even better, it's safeguarded. Now, I don't believe in keeping money. I believe it's better to put money into stocks and investments, but it's a great way to get started just by withdrawing that money, putting it aside and seeing if you can keep it there for a couple of months. It's a great teacher of money and a great way to educate yourself and how to use money better. You won't feel that you're throwing it away, or, oh, I've got money in the bank so I'm going to buy myself this or buy myself that. It's just a way of teaching you how to use money better and show you that that money was not needed to be spent or to be kept in the bank, and now you can put it to use. So this isn't a long-term strategy. This isn't something I would suggest long-term. It's something I would suggest short-term to get yourself better equipped to dealing with having money at hand, because when you start investing, it starts with small amounts, but it quickly accumulates to potentially thousands, if not tens of thousands, and further on than that. So why not just withdraw a small amount, see if you can handle that, see if you can keep it safe without spending it, continuously withdraw small amounts and putting it aside. If you realise that you can have that, take that money and invest it. You didn't need it. It's gone out your bank. You do not need that money. You didn't even realise it was gone. So if it's there, now invest it and watch what it can do for you. When you start getting paid dividends, or when you start seeing the growth on that investment, you will be hooked and that's when you get into the rhythm of investing every single month. So that is it. That is my 5 ways that me personally would suggest that you start saving money. Now again, some of them can be quite annoying. You don't want to cut off too many subscription services if you enjoy them. Like I said at the start, even just taking breaks from these things, taking a break from a takeaway or taking a break from Netflix, that alone can save you a lot of money. So do take it into consideration and keep it in mind when you're spending money on these items. So thank you for watching today. Now don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It shows great support for the channel, and you will not miss out on any content that we're going to be bringing to you, as there is a lot of great content coming soon. Also, if you want to start trading outside the US, mostly in the UK, I personally use Trading 212 for all my investments. If you want a free share worth up to £100, see the link below, as it could be a great way to start your investment portfolio. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope to see you soon.